Hi guys, this is the Binti Love Podcast, 5 points, 5-star review, and I'm your host, Binti Love. Okay, before we get into it guys, let me just say the Fair Use Act of 1976 is for criticism, news reporting, commentary, teaching, scholarship, or research. Okay, guys. So, today I will be covering the BELLE Collective, Season 3, Episode 7. Okay, and again, I'm your host, Binti Love. Now, let me just start off by saying I gave this episode 5 stars out of 5. Okay. This was the episode, guys. I was like, oh my goodness. These girls here. They're so Gucci. Right here. Latrice. And all the other beautiful ladies. But so Gucci and Latrice are kind of the main characters here. Of course, there's Tisha. Okay. Point number 1. So Gucci's daughter is always going to take her mother's side before her stepmother's side. You know? Absolutely. So let me just comment and report. The news that this beautiful lady here, and I love all the gold, looks like a pillow in the background. Okay, great idea, guys. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful picture. Yeah. But this lady here, so Gucci, I report the news that she got into a little bit of a tiff at Latrice's little get-together party, or maybe it was a big event for her. It was a very smaller space, it looked like, in an episode, allegedly. But yeah, so Gucci got into a situation there with her husband's ex-wife. And so again, point number 1, the daughter's always going to take her mother's side that's not seen in this picture here. Before her stepmother's side, who was so Gucci. Point number 2, you could look on so Gucci's stepdaughter's face, and see the trauma she felt by seeing her mother and her stepmother get into it. Some type of alleged altercation. And so Gucci's stepdaughter was at the event also, and you can see the trauma on her face. The camera panned out and showed so Gucci's stepdaughter allegedly after the event that took place there. Some type of altercation, guys, or not. And that did not make her a happy camper. Point number 2. No, that was point number 2. Now, okay, also point number 2, let me continue to report. Now, apparently, it's been alleged that so Gucci had a deep wound on her hand by the altercation with her husband's ex-wife. Now, the camera panned around very quickly, knowing I couldn't see as a viewer here at home, like everyone else, what actually happened completely. But it has been alleged that So Gucci again had a deep wound on her hand by her husband's ex-wife glass she was holding in her hand, or by the glass that was in So Gucci's hand. And let me continue to report this. So for somehow, whatever happened there, it seems to be an altercation. I don't know what happened, but there was a wound on So Gucci's hand, to the point that So Gucci was brought to the hospital. So whatever happened, either way, whether it was the glass, a drinking glass that was held in So Gucci's hand herself that wounded her hand, or a glass that was with So Gucci's husband's ex-wife at the event that wounded So Gucci's hand. Now, So Gucci's okay, but it's been alleged there was a deep wound on her hand, and she had to go to the hospital to get immediate treatment. Okay. So that brings me to point number 3, which is my criticism, guys. Let me comment and say, this was supposed to be a classy event, guys. Check it out, guys. These ladies here dressed very, very nice, as you can see here with all the gold. This is what they felt, that this is who they're representing themselves as. Okay. And this was supposed to be a classy event. So Gucci was like, I can show up there, if there was any issues between Latrice and So Gucci, she didn't feel like she would be in harm's way, And, Marie here, or Maria, had issues with Latrice in the past, but it was never a deep wound on someone's hand that they had to go to the hospital. Going to an indoor classy event with fellow entrepreneurs and millionaires. Guys, millionaires. Not everyone's a millionaire, but there were millionaires in the room. You feel like you should be able to leave that event in the same shape that you came into that event as, right? Yeah, that's what I would say. I would think I can go there. And also it has been reported that So Gucci was at a baby shower prior to this, where So Gucci and her ex-wife and her husband's ex-wife, it's been alleged they were actually married, were able to co-fraternize together and get along fine. So there was no indication to So Gucci that she would come into the place one way at Latrice's event and then leave out with a deep wound on her hand. Whether they had a little bit of a mix of words, it should never came to that point where people just think that, okay, now someone can have an open wound on her hand. Devastating news to me. This is the Binti Love Podcast. And I'm your host, Binti Love. Reporting this on the review, reporting that news. And so that's what happened here on the show, the Belle Collective. Devastating news for that to happen. And I said in the past, guys, they are having too many heated debates and arguments which can escalate things. And that's not the escalation that they want, being entrepreneurs and businesswomen, and that's not what they want to portray, that image of them. So I was very disappointed in that. Yeah. But, I think, my criticism goes towards Latrice, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. Here's Latrice, invited these women to her event. It's been alleged that Latrice knew that, that was Latrice's, So Gucci's ex-husband's wife. So, Latrice, my criticism is with Latrice for bringing two women both that have had issues in the past, apparently. They were both married to the same man, and currently that same man is with So Gucci. So I say shame on Latrice for missing that on the guest list. You never know when things might go left, and I don't think that Latrice should have brought So Gucci and her husband's ex-wife to the event. Okay, moving on from that. Point number 4. The MVP moment was Latasha stepping in quickly and de-escalating the situation and keeping the ladies in separate rooms. Latasha. This is Latasha. Okay. So yeah, I was very impressed by her. She stepped in, she separated So Gucci from the other lady, her husband's ex-wife, so that they, know not to go too far to remove each one of them out of harm's way. And so I like the fact that Latasha stepped in quickly and was able to de-escalate the situation. Good for her. All right, guys. Now, is this a research or a teachable moment, guys? It's a teachable moment, guys. Look over the guest list and do not bring women together that are having family issues, because it can definitely be a dramatic situation. And you never know, just because they got together with the baby shower, how often do these women actually have to spend time together? It might be a once a year situation at best for them. So weeks or a month before, they were at a baby shower and it was all good. See this woman married still to her children's father, her husband that she had children with, and that might have been a situation. But they have had a history of exchanging words before. So I think So Gucci knew something about that, and I don't think she should have. She normally is mostly friends with So Gucci. I think Latrice knew something about that. And so I think Latrice, the criticism was for her. She should not have. If she's mostly friends with So Gucci, Latrice, she shouldn't have brought the ex-wife there. It seemed a little small and compact there in that place, no offense. But people were kind of very, very close together. And it might have just not been a two. Don't put them together. Don't put those ladies together twice a year. Because that might be where the ruckus came from. Neither here nor there. Never let it be a deep wound on your hand. Oh my goodness, no. And had to send her to a hospital? These are supposed to be great environments. Like, this is where you're supposed to be able to go and there be no violence, There be no, I didn't say it was violence because we don't know what happened to make the wound go on her hand, because it might have been something that she did and broke the glass on her own hand by accident. We don't know how that happened. So, as an altercation, we have no idea how the wound got on her hand, but it's not a good situation. But it's been alleged that it was a situation with her husband's ex-wife that escalated for So Gucci to have the wound on her hand. We don't know how it came, but was there a scuffle? I don't know. Something about someone at some point being on the floor? Wait a minute, guys. Now, these are things that have been alleged, but no one knows exactly what happened. But nevertheless, guys, that is not a good look. And it's really an embarrassment to all the ladies, to be quite honest. It's very embarrassing. Okay. So the teachable moment again is look over the guest list and then I bring women together that are having family issues, because it's definitely can be a dramatic situation. And no one wants that. No one wants that. Okay, guys, moving on to point number 5. The most loving moment is when she was taken to the hospital. And so they came together and, she was taken to the hospital. So that's the most loving moments when one of the ladies said, hey, let's rush you to the hospital before because they was trying to hold down the pressure on her hand. They're like, we don't want her to, have a more of a worse situation, with that wound. And that was great for someone to have the ingenuity to bring her, for her to bring her to the hospital. And that was a great move, and that was the most loving moment. And so, she really stepped up to take her to the hospital. So that was a great move. And so Gucci is at least around people that know de-escalate it, and bring someone to the hospital. And let them not have any get-togethers anytime soon, I feel, because these unresolved issues are not being resolved. And don't bring family members together that might be on odds. And you just never know when something's going to happen. Okay, guys. Yep, this is the Binti Love Podcast. 5 points, 5-star review. I'm your host, Binti Love. Make sure to subscribe. And tell 10 people to subscribe too. You also catch me at my website, www.bintilove.com, just to see all the different exciting things I'm doing with the Binti Love Podcast. Okay, guys. Well, that was it. That wraps it up. Bye, guys.